Hey, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co., and this is, well, a week in review from Poland. This is news and week in review filmed to you in Poland at the moment, where I'm currently at GameFound headquarters in my little hotel room over here, figuring out what I'm about to do with my evening, although actually I'm about to hop online and play a game as soon as this is over, but we're going to go ahead and dive into this. We have our news and week in review, the usual things. We'll go into it one at a time. Let's go ahead and just get this all the way. So, starting off the bat, and apologies because I'm in Poland and running this from this camera and with no real software and all that stuff, it does mean I won't have the usual images and all that, but we will have news all the same, starting off with Heroscape. Heroscape the board game unfortunately raised a little over $1 million, or a little under $1 million, around $1 million, and unfortunately it's dead. The Heroscape reboot by Hasbro is dead. It's being put back into the vault indefinitely. I don't know what indefinitely actually means. I mean, it means, I guess, until further. It means there's no specific time as to when. It is being put back into the vault, and we'll figure out the when and how later. We also have Joan of Arc, Orleans, a draw and write game coming to you from DLP Games. Basically, this is the Orleans roll and write game, or a draw and write, a verb and verb game. Specifically, Joan of Arc is what it's going to be. I'll have a link to that down below, as well as basically every single thing we talk about. We also have Atomic Mass and Asmodee announcing Star Wars Shatterpoint, another miniatures game in the Star Wars universe that's going to be coming from Asmodee and from Atomic Mass. If you're interested more in Star Wars miniatures games and Star Wars Legion wasn't your thing and you want something, a miniature skirmish game, well, I mean, Star Wars Shatterpoint may or may not suit your fancy. We also have, coming from Stan Kronowski and from Daily Magic Games, we have Guild Academies of Valeria. This is the second time Stan Kronowski is doing a Valeria game. He already did Valeria Shadow King. He already did Shadow Kingdoms of Valeria, and now he's doing Guild Academies of Valeria. I'll definitely be trying it at some point because Stan Kronowski's games I've generally very much enjoyed, as well as Daily Magic Games I generally enjoy, and so this is definitely one that I want to try out the combination of. We also have Manney Trembley. Manney Trembley is going to, well, not is going to, Manney Trembley did a video with Intel. Basically, it's like 10 minutes of stuff about Manney Trembley and Dice Throne and the origins and all that, and then about 37 seconds of ads for Intel. And how good it is at managing all your stuff and running TTS and all those things. But either way, if you ignore the 37 seconds of ad spot, and I'm fine with it, you gotta pay the bill somehow. But if you want to check out a 10-minute documentary on Manney Trembley and Dice Throne, I highly recommend checking that out. Very interesting, very fascinating, and very interesting. It's also interesting to see the fact that, if you've been paying attention, Roxley does Dice Throne, but they kind of created their own separate company for it. And this is apparently part of the reason why. So you can check that out if you want to see that. Lastly, we have, what was lastly? Oh no, I just closed a tab. 1 second, sorry, I have to open up a tab here, because I do have these things, but we have, for immediate release from Lucky Duck Games is announcing a partnership with Pete and Flaka's announcement. They have a game, Once Upon a Line. So Once Upon a Line, I don't know much about it, but I will include links down below as well. You can check it out. Once Upon a Line looks very interesting. The artwork looks great, the premise of it looks great, all the things about it look great from the things that I'm able to see of it, and so I do recommend checking that out if you're interested. It's Once Upon a Line from Lucky Duck Games, and that's what we have as far as news in the week in review. So the last thing I'll say is Elden Ring. If you missed it, Elden Ring, basically, I'll have various things. I'll have various content around Elden Ring. I'll have a first, in fact, I may or may not film some of it from this hotel room over here, but basically, Elden Ring from Steamforge Games just basically had their giant press event. I probably will have a blog post about it or something, some sort of travel vlog, I don't know exactly. I'll also probably have I'll certainly have a full first impressions video, and I'll have a gameplay video on my channel. But if you want to know some basics about Elden Ring is going to be launching November 22nd. That is soon. That is very, very, very soon. And along with that, they basically announced that they're going to have multiple Kickstarters. We're going to have one now, and then as they do more and more core boxes, they're going to continue to explore the world of Elden Ring. So if you want to find out more about it, they're going to continue to have more about that game. They're going to continue to support it for a long time. And I can also say that from my first 3 hours playing it, it's only 3 hours of Elden Ring, but for my first 3 hours or so, or maybe less than 3 hours, whatever it was, from the first amount of time I dove into Elden Ring, I will say it is likely my favorite Elden Ring game so far. Likely. No, sorry, that's not true. It is likely my favorite Steamforge game so far. It is certainly my favorite Elden Ring game so far. It is likely my favorite Steamforge game so far. For me, Resident Evil is my favorite, and then Monster Hunter World is a drop below that. And then other Steamforge games I've enjoyed aspects of. We'll talk more about that in my first impressions, but Elden Ring, I believe, is going to be my favorite one so far. And yes, it's easy to write that off as hype and buzz and all those things. Again, I'll talk about that in my first impressions, but I do think it's one that when people play it, I think they will appreciate it. Time will tell ultimately, but it's one of those hard things because Steamforge Games has done a lot of good games and they have a very loyal audience, but they also have a lot of people who've been disappointed by some of the games, which always makes it a harder challenge to convince people that it's worth paying attention to. I think Elden Ring is worth paying attention to. We'll talk more about it in my first impressions. You can check that out. But past that, they're going to have pledge levels everywhere from like, I think $79 or $89 was the lowest, all the way up to like $400 or like $29 for the all-in. So lots of ways to spend money on it, and there'll be future Kickstarters as well. So if you missed this one, it seems like you'll have a chance to be able to get your stuff on future ones, so don't feel the need to dive into it, especially not on my word alone. At the end of the day, it's a lot of money to spend and you don't need it all, and so you can always get like maybe even just a core set, call it a day and move on and get some of it later. You can figure it out. There's lots of options. But that is what we have for news and week in review, which brings us to, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to jump straight to what I played over here. We're not going to really have a topic this week. Again, filming from a hotel room, less everything. It's not the first time I filmed from a hotel room, actually. If you want to go way back, I did my original Marvel Champions review, which 100% deserves a re-release at this point. My original Marvel Champions review was filmed from a hotel room in Argentina. My original Marvel United Should You Back It was filmed from a hotel room in Argentina. I'm not new to filming my videos from random hotel rooms in foreign countries. It's just been a very, very long time since I actually did this. So this is my first time since way back, starting at the beginning of the channel. It's been 2.5 years since I filmed a video internationally, unless you count Canada. I mean, arguably you should count Canada, but I don't count Canada when talking about this kind of subject. In any case, moving on to what I played. What I played is all going to be, I am so behind on logging my plays. This happens on a regular basis. I get caught up, I fall back, I get caught up, I fall back. But as far as what I played, going back this past week, it's been a very light week. It's been a very light week as far as I played. This is the lightest week I've had in a very long time. The very nature of this week has been that I traveled to England for Steamforge Games for this event. Then I traveled directly from there to Poland, where I'm doing, this over here. I'm spending my week at GameFound, which means I've played the following this past week, at least since we last spoke. Although I guess I have the whole past weekend. So I guess, no, there's more stuff because I'm counting last weekend too. So if we're counting last weekend, we actually have a lot. Never mind that. We have a bunch of stuff then. We have Wednesday. Wednesday I played a bunch of Calico because this is going back to last Wednesday, so I can go ahead and count this all. Last Wednesday we had Calico, played some of that. We have Roleplay Adventures. Always enjoyable to play through Roleplay Adventures. We have Obsession, dove into a partial game of Obsession and a partial game of Blood Rage. And then Thursday dove into more Oathsworn. Oathsworn is continuously fun and continuously enjoying it. We started the process of recording it. I'm going to have eventually, not yet, but we'll have eventually a full recorded playthrough, not on this channel. There's going to be another channel we'll talk about at some point, but a playthrough channel devoted to just playing through games, and Oathsworn will be on there once we have more of it up. We have Let Us Void Chapel, dove into some more of that, as well as Dice Miner, a bunch of plays of Dice Miner. Dice Miner is a game that's just consistently fun. It's light, but it's consistently fun. We have on Friday we have Seven Wonders Duel, playing through some of that. It's been a while since I played Seven Wonders Duel. Reminded why I like it. I consistently enjoy Seven Wonders Duel, as well as Seven Wonders, which we played the next day, as well as Mansions of Madness Second Edition, which I've been diving into slowly to get caught up for the sake of doing a review on that one. We'll talk about that more. We have Lost Winds of Arnak, played through some of that. Again, consistently good. I finally played as the character that does that manages the fear cards and wants to use those for various rituals and whatnot. Fun character to play as. We have Foundations of Rome, played that as well. Been a while since I played Foundations. A while's relative. A while at this point is like 6 months. It's been less than 6 months. It's been like 3 months since I played Foundations. It's nice to dive into it. We have Cthulhu, Death May Die, Fear of the Unknown. Dove into the expansion a second time. This time I actually beat it. The first time, not so much. We have Endless Winter, some more of that. This time with all the expansions. This is my first time playing Endless Winter with every single expansion all mixed in. Not every single module. That would be a whole lot. Most of the modules, all the expansions. We have Mind Management. Got another play of Mind Management in. Lost horribly. It's fine. I can take it. We have Cat in the Box. Cat in the Box, the trick-taking game from not AEG, from Bezier Games. Cat in the Box, consistently fun. On Sunday we had Radlands, which was excellent. I always enjoy Radlands. And then on Tuesday we got a whole bunch of Elden Ring in. This was the Elden Ring we mentioned already. And that brings us to this past Wednesday, which was Paperback Adventures. Started the process of diving into Paperback Adventures. I'll be going through a few boxes and then eventually having a review up for you shortly. And that's what we have as far as what I played, which brings us to the week in review. Starting off with this past Sunday. This past Sunday we did an Oathsworn versus Gloomhaven. Basically a Play This Not That of Oathsworn versus Gloomhaven. Play This Not That is a series I've done on the channel for a long time now. They don't always pop up, but I think you can expect them to be popping up more regularly. Did I mention Tiny Turbo Cars? Did I not mention? I may not have mentioned this. I may have to change. I didn't edit my list. This is the problem. You see, I always do this where I don't always remember the various games I played. We have to go ahead and add tiny turbo cards because I just remembered I did that too. Okay, problem solved, done. But going back to Sunday, this past Sunday I did, well, let's go back to Saturday. Saturday we had 2 videos. We had, first of all, we had a review for Solforge Fusion. I gave that one a 3.5 out of 5. I think I may have given it a 4. I can't remember. So here's my problem with Solforge Fusion. This is why I don't like the 0.5 system. I like remembering my ratings. But Solforge Fusion is an excellent game, but it's an excellent game that has garbage production quality, which makes me like it a bit less. So I can't remember if I gave it a 3.5 or a 4, but it is excellent, so I highly recommend that there. Then we have a review of Horizons of Spirit Island. That's a solid game. I prefer Spirit Island, but it gives you most of the experience packaged up nicely. I don't even think I officially rated it. Spirit Island to me is a 5 out of 5. Horizons Spirit Island, let's call it a 4.5 out of 5. It definitely compromises a bit on the experience. Then on Sunday, we had Oathsworn Into the Deep Wood versus Gloomhaven. I played This Not That with myself, Professor Meg, and Devon from Devon Talks Tabletop. We're going to be doing a bunch of Play This Not That slowly but surely, as well as doing our full top 100 together, so keep your eyes peeled for that. But Oathsworn Into the Deep Wood versus Gloomhaven. You can check that out for nuanced opinions on the various aspects of which game appealed to each of us. On Monday, we had Monday we had 20 games I would late pledge, I believe it was. I believe that was Monday. 20 games I would late pledge, or 20 games you should late pledge, or consider late pledging. They're all games I've played. Links to all of them, you can check those out. Tuesday we had 3 videos go up. We had a review for The Wolves from Pandasaurus Games, which I neglected to mention in my news part of this video, but there's a bunch of recent allegations about mistreatment at work from Pandasaurus Games. I recommend reading it yourself, making your own judgment calls. I don't want to heavily get into it. It doesn't sound like malice. It sounds like, I don't know. I neither want to defend nor attack. But as far as news sections, I should have mentioned there's news around Pandasaurus Games. Check into it and try to be balanced in how you approach it or handle it. It's very easy to vilify. It's very easy to write off. I'm really not trying to defend anyone in the slightest. I have no relationship with Pandasaurus Games past the fact that they've given me some review copies. It sounds problematic, but possibly out of neglect as opposed to ill will. But anyways, that's basically The Wolves. So The Wolves, Pandasaurus Games. I give that a 3.5 out of 5. I like The Wolves. I found it a little too ambient in what it's doing, so I didn't love it. Then we had a review for Wingspan, as well as the expansions. Wingspan's a solid game. I give it a 4 out of 5. It's a game that I didn't keep, though, because there's many other games that I prefer playing that give me a similar feeling. But Wingspan is great. I've always enjoyed Wingspan. I just like other games more. And then lastly, on Thursday, we had a review for Now or Never. Now or Never from Red Raven Games. That one is a 4 out of 5 as well. Now or Never is very solid. A little long. I'm curious if it stays in my collection forever, but at least it stays for right now. Bring us to Wednesday. Wednesday we had a live Q&A with just Meg and Devon. They took over, and general Wednesdays have been shifting to a Q&A with a weekly live show with the 3 of us. But this particular week, the 2 of them handled it themselves because I'm in Poland. See the aforementioned part where I'm in Poland. But basically, they handled the whole show themselves, and that's all taken care of there. Some technical issues that resulted in some spits and spattering as it went through. Hopefully those are not present in the final thing if you're watching it after the fact. Then we had later on Wednesday we had a Zombicide unboxing, Zombicide Undead or Alive unboxing, going through that. That video had a very short lifespan on the channel because of the fact that the next morning, very early the next morning, we had 10 games I've been meaning to play. On Thursday we had 10 games I've been trying to get tabled. The problem is I set the schedule for that while here in Poland, so I set it to go live at 10 a.m. The problem is it set it to go live 10 a.m. Polish time, which means that it went live at 4 a.m. the usual time, which is not when it's supposed to go live. So if you're wondering why my Thursday video went up at 4 a.m., it's because I forgot to take into account that I should choose the actual time zone that I'm in when scheduling videos. But that was it. 10 games I wanted to get tabled. I've actually tabled already 2 of those games. As a result of filming that video, I tabled Meeples and Monsters and Babylonia that week. I should have review content on one or both of those shortly. But yeah, that's what I had going up on Thursday. Which brings us to Friday. Friday we had Where Are They Now for September. Going over the games I reviewed for November. Going over the games I reviewed last November. Talking about all of those and going through that, and that's basically what we had there, which brings us to today. Today we should have 2 reviews going up. We'll have a review for Cat in the Box from AEG, as well as from No, from Bezier Games. Cat in the Box from Bezier Games. I just did it again. As well as The Rocketeer from the OP. I'll have reviews for both of those going up today. And that is basically what we have as far as your week in review. Which brings us to coming up next week. Coming up next week, we're going to have a few different videos. First of all, on Monday, we're going to have the first 50 games I backed. Doing a bit of a retrospect of the first 50 games I ever backed. Just because I'm still in Poland, and the to back or not to back is one of the most trying videos I do every single week. And I will be spending the entire Sunday flying home, not prepping for to back or not to back. So enjoy that video that's going up, and next week we'll be back to our regularly scheduled our to back or not to back. Not this week. This next week after that will be to back or not to back. Past that, we should have some other reviews going up, as well as I don't even know what's going up. I don't know. Let's go with other stuff. We'll have other stuff going up across the course of the week. I don't even know what to have. Maybe we'll have an Unconscious Mind should you back it. Might, possibly on Sunday. I'll see. It depends on what I get done as far as tonight and this video and all those things. But that is everything we have going on there, which brings us to the games on the table. I don't have games on the table. I do have like other games. I'm going to continue to dive into Paperback Adventures, which I've traveled with me over here. I should be hopefully diving into Onirim, which I brought behind me as well. And I also brought some Button Shy games because those are always fun. So basically, small travel-sized packages are what I'm hoping to play this week because I didn't even bring real luggage. I brought a backpack and a carry-on for a week-long visit to England and Poland. I had to make it all fit in the luggage, so there's that. That is basically it. Until next time, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co. Appreciate you being here, and as always, I hope you have a good one.